What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Backline Gear Review. My name is Billy, and today I've got something that I consider pretty damn special. Today what I got for you is something I have kind of been waiting for a while now. Going back, just a little backstory, my favorite band of all time is Alice in Chains. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that I have Jerry Cantrell's custom wallet pedal, and it's one of my favorite possessions that I own. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to really play. However, I do enjoy playing with the pedal some and really experimenting and trying to come up with some cool sounds with it. I believe it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, Gibson announced that they were signing Jerry Cantrell, and they did an icon special that kind of showcased Jerry Cantrell, his thoughts on Gibson, his, background, his story, how when he was a younger kid, he always wanted a Les Paul, which is really cool because even when I was a younger kid, I always wanted a Les Paul as well. I even dreamed of having one tattooed on my back. It was this really weird thing that I had going on when I was a kid. Then Jerry Cantrell had talked about how he also wanted a Les Paul, and that's all he wanted for Christmas. For the most part, I knew it wasn't very achievable for my family or even myself. Gibsons are pretty pricey, and over the past couple of years, or realistically 5 or so years ago, it really had some quality control issues, at least that I was seeing online. I'd never really played one myself. I fell in love with PRS, and it's been my go-to guitar since. Once Jerry and Gibson announced that they were doing a signature model, especially in the Wino color, I was hooked. I looked at it, I thought it was one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever seen. Again, Les Paul body style, the Wino color really popped. And then I saw the price tag. $9,000 is what it's going for right now. It is a custom shop. I forget the shop name. I'll probably put it right down here. It's a custom shop that they did together. They aged everything. It's got the locking tuners. It's got the special hardware, the cool color, everything in between under the sun. And it's a really awesome guitar. I just could not justify spending $9,000 on a guitar I didn't even know if I would actually like. Les Pauls were always a dream of mine, but I'd never really played a real Gibson Les Paul. Fast forward to about a week or two ago, I saw something that I have been waiting for since that announcement of the Jerry Cantrell Gibson custom shop. That is what we got here today. This is the Jerry Cantrell Epiphone in the Wino color. They made two of them. They made this Epiphone in the Wino. That's just an Epiphone Les Paul Jerry Cantrell special. They also did a Jerry Cantrell Prophecy guitar. That is here. When looking at them, I knew that I wanted the Wino. It was what I had saw originally. That's the one I wanted. It was the color I wanted. Back in the day, I always wanted like a Black Beauty or something like that. They had the Les Paul Voodoos as well as the SG Voodoos that came out many years ago. They're absolutely hard to find now. Once I saw that Wino color, I knew that was me. If you guys are also familiar with this channel, one of my PRSs is in a like cherry kind of red burst, with a little gray color going on. The Wino was perfect for that situation. Once I saw this, I knew I had to get it. $850 US. I thought that was an absolute steal. When they originally announced that these Epiphones were coming out, I thought they were going to be well over $1,000, maybe even close to $1,200, which in the grand scheme of things, when you really look at it, one of the companies that's kind of taken over, especially if you're a metal guy like me or anything, one of the best companies out there is ESP, and they do a great Les Paul body style guitar. I used to own a couple of them. I really like them. It just wasn't there for me. It had EMG pickups. I wasn't that into that style of metal anymore. I wanted to go to the more passive route. Didn't feel like changing them out. So I sold them and I got other guitars. I think I actually got my Mark Holcomb PRS that's featured on this channel as well. So once I saw this, I was in love with it. Then I looked at the specs, and quite honestly, for $850, you cannot go wrong with the spec. We're working with a mahogany body, a maple cap. We've got gold hardware all throughout, gold Grover tuners up here. Unfortunately, they're not locking, but they do hold their tune very well. A Graph Tech nut, a mahogany neck, and an ebony fretboard. Now, to me, a lot of the issues that a lot of these kind of affordable guitars are coming after, the fretboard is this kind of like ebony, or it wants to be rosewood, but it looks really faded and it looks really cheap. So for me, if you're gonna make it cheap and you're not even gonna give me real ebony, at least paint the damn thing completely black. So it looks good, it shines, it looks great when you clean it up. The pickups in here are some kind of Epiphone pickups. They're supposed to model what Jerry has in his guitar. I believe it's a 490T and a 498, something along those lines. They're okay. We're gonna get into some sounds in just a few moments. I do plan on changing out the bridge pickup for a Duncan JB. It's something Jerry used on past recordings, and I'm pretty sure he probably has them in other guitars as well, especially like his G&L. And so that's something I plan on doing. When I first got this guitar, I was blown away by how it looked. The only things that I noticed is a couple of areas on the binding. You can notice some of the paint kind of bled over. For $850, I'm pretty sure these are Chinese made. I can't complain too much. I would have liked to have seen a little more quality control with that, but for the most part, unless you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. I also was very, very happy, and I don't even think I noticed until after I ordered the guitar, that it came with this hard shell case, which is something you do not see in that price range. I've got PRSs that are almost $2,000. They don't come with a hard shell case. Again, it's a Chinese-made hard shell case for Epiphone with Jerry Cantrell's name on it, which I thought was really, really cool. It's a little kitschy, but it is kind of cool seeing something that they have with his name on it. It feels like you got his guitar. I can see, especially for the younger crowd, if you're into Alice in Chains, you love Jerry Cantrell, something really cool. Me, as a, dad kind of guy, grew up in the 90s, absolutely love the grunge scene. It was really cool for me to actually see Jerry Cantrell's name on the case. It's a little cliche, but I do like it a lot. Jerry Cantrell's signature is also on the truss rod cover, and then we have a JJ stamped on the back. And from an interview that I saw, I guess the JJ is, he calls it the double J. He's a junior of his father, so he calls everything double J, just like I believe he's got a double J ranch out in Oklahoma, which is also a really cool thing because I'm originally from Oklahoma. So you can see that this also is just all around one of my favorite guitar players, one of my favorite bands. The guitar itself, it feels great. Like I said, the sound is not all there, but I think it is definitely usable for most applications if you want to be able to just get it out and play it. When I did get it out of the case, I realized immediately I had to change the strings. They were not that great. It felt very cheap to me. I felt like I was almost playing with a toy guitar, something I would pick up from maybe like a Walmart or something. It didn't feel the best to me. Once I changed the strings, it felt like home. It felt like one of my guitars had my strings on it that I typically use. I tuned it to the E flat as Jerry would have in most of their songs, and it felt great. I was very, very happy with the way it felt. Still very happy with the way it feels. The neck profile, from what I've heard or read, maybe I'm wrong on this, it seems like something that kind of Jerry and the guys over at Epiphone / Gibson kind of came up with. It feels great. It's not as fat as most Les Pauls from what I've seen or played, or even the old ESPs that I had. It's kind of a medium profile. It's actually probably even a little thinner than my PRS S2, which is great. So it has speed to it. It's got great feel. It's a great shape. All around, it's a fantastic guitar. And for $850, if you're an Alice in Chains fan, you're looking to get maybe your first Les Paul body style guitar, you're looking for something that you can kind of play minus changing the strings right out of the box. I think this is a fantastic buy. I'm very happy with it. I was really worried I was going to have buyer's remorse. It was more of like, this is my favorite artist. I've got to have this. This is an impulse buy, and I shouldn't do this. But realistically, I think I'm going to be hanging on to this. It's my favorite band of all time. I love Les Paul body styles. Just never had one. I'm not really looking to buy a Gibson Les Paul anytime soon. I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with my PRS guitars. But to add this to the collection is quite a treat for me. Let's go ahead and see how it sounds. You guys kind of heard a little bit at the beginning. Saw some B-roll of the guitar, so we won't be doing any more kind of close-ups on that. And then this way you guys can kind of have your ideas of how it sounds. I'm going to first roll through the bridge, middle, and neck position on a pretty high gain amp. This is going to be a Kipper profile of Jerry Cantrell's 100-watt Friedman amp. Once I heard that, actually, I really, really liked it. I took to it very quickly. Decided to pair this guitar with what would be his signature amp. So let's go through it, and then we'll get to some clean tones. So as you can see there, even for $850, this is a pretty nice guitar. I think the cleans actually came out a little better than expected. Once again, I had to change the strings to really get some tone out of it. It felt and sounded pretty cheap, sounded really thin. Once I put some nice strings on it, it kind of beefed up a little bit. I am running 11 through 52s, I believe, on these. It's a Diodario NYXLs. I believe it ships 10 to 49. Don't quote me on that. That could be wrong. But this feels a lot better to me. Maybe it's just because I'm used to playing a little lower tunings. I need the thicker strings for that, especially on 25-inch scale guitars. This is at the typical scale length of a Les Paul, so the thicker strings will kind of help, especially if you want to do some lower tuning music. Again, I'm pretty happy that I purchased this guitar. This is one of the best buys that I've had in a while. I've had a slump if I haven't cared to buy a single guitar. Actually sold quite a few of my collection and don't have many left. So for me, most of the time, there's nothing that really catches my eye. Once this came out, I immediately purchased it. As soon as I saw one little article that it had been released, I immediately went online, found a store that was selling it, and immediately ordered the guitar. I'm very happy with it. I hope one of you guys will be able to find this video helpful and be able to hopefully purchase your own. This is a great buy, even if you got yourself who's a huge Alice in Chains fan, maybe a younger child that's just getting started, or yourself who's maybe a weekend warrior playing some music. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up on this video. And if you could, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that way you know whenever new videos come out. It has been a while since we put one out on this channel, but I hope to be getting back into some things soon with me and my buddy Nico, who helps me out with the podcast and reaction videos. We're going to be doing some cool stuff, hopefully this summer for you guys. Other than that, my name is Billy once again. Thank you for checking out this video. Have a great day.